Good morning, ladies, gentlemen. The Daniel Plan, the reason I'm excited about the book is because it's topical. And why do I say it's topical? It's about wellness. The pandemic has shown that we all have to be well. And like I always say, a lot of people don't even know the meaning of wellness. I've been overweight all my life. I've been taking high blood pressure medication all my life. So what is even wellness? In this pandemic, with the lockdown, we've had to come face to face with our unwellness or our wellness. So the Daniel Plan, the good thing about the Daniel Plan, I'll tell you just 2 minutes about how it came about. Rick Warren is, I'm sure we all know, because I've put here The Purpose-Driven Life, a book that he wrote that, has been bought by hundreds of millions of people. He said he was baptizing and, the people were really heavy because they would dunk people in completely, which is the right way to baptize people. And he realized that he was almost killing himself because the people were too heavy. And then he realized that even he himself was heavy. And the truth about it is that, these days they say, oh, don't body shame anybody. It's not about body shaming. They say what is not good is not good. Direct translation from Yoruba. It's good for us to confront what is not good. If you are overweight, it's a disease because it is going to lead to other diseases. Like we've seen even in this coronavirus, once people are overweight and they get it, it's more of a problem than people who are not overweight. So he confronted what the issues were. And because he's so successful, because if you ever listen to Saddleback Church, his church, you will see that they do everything in 20 days, 40 days, 60 days. And that's because the psychologists have said, oh, you need to do something. And they had a eureka moment when they realized, which is what churches should be doing, that they're not only there to preach the word of God, they're also there to try to help people build new habits. Now, whether 40 days is the magic number, I'm not sure, because I found out, some people say it's 21 days, some say it's 63 days, but this was the idea behind it, that if we can get people to start to build good habits. Now, what was it about? A healthier life. One of the amazing things about the book, usually people say, oh, you want to lose weight, exercise and eat better. But I love the fact that they have made people realize that it's not only about that. Your spirituality, which is something that they put in there. The food, well, we all know about that. Fitness, we all know about that. Focus, friends, and lifestyle, what this book is all about. And it is designed to improve physical, spiritual, and mental health. So, faith, right? You have to believe that you do this. When it comes to the lifestyle, he talks about the mind, okay? He talks about the mind, that it all starts in your mind. You have to have the faith that you can do this thing, not just throw up your hands. You look at it, you've been piling on weight for a year, or you've become unfit for not even a year, 10 years. And a lot of people want to go in and lose the weight in 2 weeks. It's not possible. So you have to, first of all, have faith, as in believe you can do it, but also tap into your spirituality. I remember I used to be a chocolate addict, and honestly, it was a stronghold. I determined, I lived in London at the time. When I was coming up to a sweet shop that I was going to walk past, and almost, I felt it was like demonic. I had to face God and pray and believe on Him for me to keep that habit, right? So faith is the first place to start off. Without your spirituality, you can't move on. And then he talks about food. I love the fact that they actually delve into the different types of food. Now, Hippocrates, right, was a philosopher, was the first doctor. He was, I'm sure you've all heard of the Hippocratic Oath. He was the one who said, let food be your medicine and medicine your food. The truth about it is that back in the day, right, the doctors were almost like alchemists. They just used to mix herbs together and give people. It was when people like Carnegie, right, wanted to develop their pharmaceuticals that they started giving the universities so much money, insisting to be on the board of those universities and insisting on the doctors prescribing more medicine than the herbs and the foods they used to prescribe back in the day. And so we have found ourselves where we are now, that we are taking drugs that don't heal us, that just keep us coming back for more. And we have abandoned food. Now, the truth about it is that somebody said if you put a caveman in any of our supermarkets today, they won't even know what it is. Because what is real food that we eat is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, all the food people need to do is put something in a green pack and call it organic, and everybody will buy it. Nobody is eating real food. And this book delves into what is real food, which one is good, which one is not good. And then he talks about fitness. That's me over there. My daughter was the one who put together this, and she decided she was going to use my actual picture. You know, they talk about fitness, and he says that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. So I talked about fitness. I was just saying how, we all need to move, that actually going to the gym, even though that's not what they say. I mean, they also talk about movement, and they talk about, walking and things like that. Let me move on very quickly. I was saying that the next thing they talked about was focus, and how you first of all have to do a diagnostics on yourself to know where you are in the line of wellness or unwellness, right? And then you have to, they say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, okay? Let me just move on very quickly. Then they talk about friends and relationships. This is amazing, because the truth about it is that they were looking at friends as being just the people who help you to, move forward in your goal. I looked at it from relationship being toxic and non-toxic relationships. That you don't want, people who are not going to help you move forward to where it is you need to go. And then, I think maybe because the time is really short, maybe I'll do the rest of the stuff in the question and answer, because I then look at the book and say, what do I like about the book? I like the fact that, are you here with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Yes, we are.
I like the fact that it's a candid book. It is easy to read. It's got great chapters, it's their tables, their charts. So if you really want to use the book as a home study book in a group, it is so easy to do. There are a lot of truths in it. But some of the things I didn't like about the book was that I guess maybe it's a little old, but not too old. There's a lot of modern research that's not in there. And so some of the things we've been advised to do, research has shown that we don't have to go that way anymore, So it's basically that I didn't like about the book. But I guess if you don't know what the new research is, at least this will get you from where you are to a part of the journey where you need to go. And it'll make you do a bit more research for yourself. I think my time is up. So let me just wait and see if I can address more issues in question and answer time.
Okay, Mrs. Balogun, thank you very much. And I feel you, the struggles you've had with your network. I really feel you. But let's try and maximize the next 5 minutes. This is going to be a chat between you and I, and then we open the floor for everybody to ask questions, okay? I feel you've got so much to share with us, but the network has prevented a lot of that in the last few minutes. Now, from the book, what stands out for you? I know you're into wellness, you're into fitness. What's the most powerful message in that book that you are familiar with? When you read it, it resonated with you. It reminded you of so many things that probably you yourself have been teaching over the years, you've been practicing over the years, and so on. What's that number one takeaway for you from the book that we can all share?
That it starts with your mind. You have to convince your mind that you need to go on this journey. You can read 100 books, you can have 100 people telling you, but it is in your mind that you have to first of all start. Does that make sense? And that was, they put that powerfully in the book, that it's your mind, and it's in your mind. And I think that's with everything. It's in your mind that you can be defeated. It's in your mind that you can have success. I've seen people who have lost weight from 700, 800, 900 pounds. So when you convince yourself and your mind is in the same place with what your desire is, then you can go out, engage your spirituality, engage the tools, right? And then forge ahead.
Okay. The book is titled The Daniel Plan. 40 Days to a Healthier Life. What's that plan?
It's basically just very little meat, if any meat. Because remember that in Daniel, he didn't eat the king's fare. He didn't eat at the king's table, all the steak and everything that was at the table. He stuck with legumes and, basically plant-based foods. And so that's basically what it is. But I mean, there is a bit of meat in this one, but it was more plant-based than anything else. So that's the Daniel fast.
Is that something you agree with personally? Has that been your experience?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask because I'm vegan. So I don't eat anything. I don't even drink milk. I don't have honey. I don't eat anything that it came from an animal, or somebody said anything that has eyes. I don't go there. And I have found that it's really good. I was watching something yesterday, I think it was called The Game Changers. It's on Netflix. And the strongest man in the world is vegan. The fastest man, they're vegan. Because there's a lie that says, if you don't eat meat, you won't have energy. If you don't eat meat, this or that. I think meat is a good thing if you like it. I think meat is okay, but I don't eat meat for very many reasons. But that is it.
Oh, interesting. So, wow. Okay. If I may ask you, I'm curious. Sorry, everybody, if this is a digression, but I can't avoid asking this. Can you share a few of the reasons why people go vegan?
Okay, I'll tell you my own reason. Well, first of all, for many years, I didn't think it was, and if you look at in the beginning, right in the Garden of Eden,
Mrs. Balogun. Okay, I think we need to have. Okay, yeah, we can.
I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you. So we have a lot of antibiotics in the meat.
Sorry, Mrs. Balogun, we lost you at the point where you said at the Garden of Eden. Can you please go back there?
Yeah, I was just saying that in the Garden of Eden, God said we should eat the plants. He didn't say meat. But by chapter 9 of Genesis, he said we can eat everything. But when he actually first created us, it was to eat plants. And let me just quickly say that antibiotics is one of the main reasons I don't eat meat. Because what makes us well is our biome, right? And it's full of bacteria. The main reason I don't eat meat is because of the antibiotics. Okay? Yeah, because when they pump the animals full of antibiotics, and antibiotics don't die when you kill the animal. You can't get rid of it by cooking. When you kill off all the good bacteria, you are left with the bad bacteria that make you crave what you shouldn't be eating and make you ill.
Okay. So the Daniel Plan basically, like you said earlier, discourages meat.
Excess meat.
Excess meat, not entirely, but excess meat. Okay. Is there any other thing to the Daniel Plan we need to be aware of?
The Daniel Plan was not only about food. I think that's what we need to be aware of. There was movement in it. It talks about exercise, like all those things that I mentioned. It talks about your spirituality. You cannot just try and lose weight and get well without your spirituality. So you have to be awake to your spirituality. Your relationships, like I said, some of the things they didn't mention was things like fast, because if we're going to look at Daniel's plan, he was actually fasting a lot, but they didn't really mention fasting. And if you look at it in Isaiah 58, I think 54, 58, that talks about the perfect fast. It says that when you have fasted the perfect way, then your health springs forth speedily. And then, in Isaiah as well, it also says that those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. We don't have enough time for me to take you through the different levels of fasting and what the benefits you get from those different levels. But one thing they missed out in this book was about fasting. It is important to fast. It is important I cannot emphasize it more. When churches say fast 100 days, they're actually doing you a lot of service. It's not a mistake or an accident that a lot of religions advocate fasting, because that's the only way you can keep well.
Interesting. Finally, from me, it's a plan. The Daniel plan is a plan. How important is it to have plans around wellness? If you get what I mean. While I was reading the book, I just had the impression that these things don't just happen. You can't just wake up and say you want to be well, you want to be fit and all that. How important is it to structure a proper plan?
You have to be deliberate. Okay, now I don't, I'm going to send the slides, and I'm sure they'll probably send them around, right? I don't like the fact that it is like so structured. When you profile them, they're compliant people. Do you understand? But for the people who are not, but whether you're compliant or not, things don't just happen. You have to put structures around it. My most successful clients, because I help people with adjusting their weight, nothing just happens. We all know that, no matter what it is. Unfortunately, as Christians, we pray, and then we do not put action. We don't back our prayer with action. But nothing is going to happen. You have to be deliberate about everything and anything that you do, Before I came on this call, right, I had sorted out everything I was in control of, because I know nothing is going to just happen. Do you understand? But then, of course, something that I'm not in control of came up. But you have to do everything you can do to be in control. I mean, for example, if let's just say you're a social drinker, for instance, and drinking is actually not very good for weight loss. I know somebody who lost a ton of weight, but for a year he didn't go out. He didn't go to any party. It may be extreme sometimes. I mean, I'm vegan. You don't know how many jokes and how many things people, I go to places and they don't cater for me. So I go to a party and I'm not eating anything because people think, well, live with it, because I know what it is I'm trying to achieve. So yeah, there must be a plan around whatever it is you want to do. It's not just going to happen, never. Except if, I don't know. I don't even know the except. You know what, the adage, you know what they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Balogun. Time. So, really exciting, some of the things you've said, and I'm so sad that the network has interrupted you a whole lot. So let's open the floor for somebody who might have a question out there. Anybody with a question?
Yes, sorry, I have a question.
Okay, yes.
The speaker had mentioned new research. It's on the chat box. That is still there. It's not been answered. So we wanted her to throw more light on the new research that she mentioned, which was not mentioned in the book under review. Secondly, I'd also asked for clarification, but I think she said she doesn't need anything that has eyes. And so I was asking if chicken and turkey was also part of it, because I know for veg, they really do not eat meat. So I was seeking clarification if chicken, fish, or turkey was also part of the brand. But since she mentioned anything that doesn't have eyes, then that means my question has been answered. Thank you. So maybe more light on the new research she had mentioned was not in the book under review. Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll tell you that I was going to talk about fast. So let me give you an example. There's a lot of new research that I can't say everything here, but let me talk about fasting. Insulin is what makes us put on weight. And when you fast for 17 hours, then it means for 17 hours, you don't have insulin in your system. And your body is forced to dip into your fat cells, okay, and use the fat. So if you're not fasting 17 hours a day when you want to lose the weight, it might be difficult for you to lose the weight. Now, when you do 24-hour fasts, right, you get into something called autophagy. Autophagy, the person who came up with that, they've known it for years, but the person who came up with it, I think in 2018 or 2016, just got a Nobel Prize. When you get into autophagy, right, the cells are hungry, so they eat themselves up. And the first thing they will eat is the excrement in the individual cell. Autophagy keeps you not only looking young, but feeling young. Now, if you do a 36-hour fast, you start to do what? Grow something called stem cells. If you've ever heard of stem cells, they harvest stem cells from placenta and newborn babies and all of that, and inject it into people so that they will feel well, right? Stem cells heal people's bodies. Now, if you are fasting 36 hours at a stretch, you are growing your own stem cells. How exciting is that? So with 17 hours, you are losing weight. With 24 hours, you've gone into autophagy, which also helps you to lose weight. And with 36 hours, you are growing stem cells and you're looking younger than I am looking.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Balogun. Somebody here is asking, what is the difference between being vegan and vegetarian, please? Is there a difference?
Yeah. Oh, a big difference. Vegetarian, they eat honey, they eat eggs, they eat cheese and stuff. I am even a bit more extreme, and I'm going to go further by God's grace. So I don't eat milk. I don't take honey. Okay? So I don't eat anything that is animal anything. Right? Now, I also don't eat bread. I try not to. I don't eat bread and I don't eat rice. But I would take some cake from time to time. Maybe it's somebody's birthday or somebody's wedding or something, right? But I try not to. So I don't have butter. Anything that is an extract of animals, vegans don't touch. So a vegetarian would eat cheese and egg and a few things. There are some people, they call themselves pescatarian. So they eat only fish and chicken. My own is that it's not, you see, these things that says one man's meat is another man's poison is very real. And that was one of my problems with the Daniel clan, because they've sort of herded us all through the same gate. If you're going to eat meat, by all means, eat meat, but eat it moderately.
Yeah, awesome. But Shuneye says, awesome session. I recommend the documentary titled Game Changers on Netflix. It gives more insight on eating meat, just like the reviewer has just mentioned. So you might want to check out Game Changers on Netflix. Shuneye is suggesting.
It was one of the things I mentioned, but I guess maybe the internet was going in and out at the time. I actually just watched that yesterday or 2 days ago.
Ah, okay. I'm going to watch that.
Another one you can watch is called Forks and Knives, also on Netflix.
Forks and Knives. Is it a film or a documentary?
It's a documentary. But what I want to say is that this Daniel Plan is a great book. But do you know how many books that have been written on one diet or the other? Do you have any idea?
No idea.
Almost 100,000.
Wow.
You can also watch documentaries that will tell you that you have to eat meat. So, you have to make up your own mind.
Okay. All right. Let me see the chat. When fasting, can you drink water?
You must.
You must. Okay.
You must. What happens when you are fasting is that you are releasing toxins into your bloodstream. When you fast, right, you are actually releasing toxins into your bloodstream. And that is why people stop fasting, because it gives them, they have headaches, they feel unwell. It's because toxins are being released into your bloodstream. And so you must drink water to keep flushing it out, or else it's going to be a bit difficult. You can drink water. If you are going to drink tea, drink herbal teas. Don't put any sugar, don't put any milk. You can also have coffee, but not too much coffee.
Okay, somebody says, how do you keep your energy levels up when you go on a 24-hour or 36-hour fast?
My goodness. Do you know that when I do a 36-hour fast, I can't even sleep. My energy is crazy. When you watch Game Changers, you will see it. The strongest man in the world is vegan. But like I said, when you first start it, you feel unwell. Do you understand? You feel unwell. But whether the first 2-3 days, because what it is that you've been addicted to horrible food. And so it's like you're jonesing, you have withdrawal symptoms. Okay? But after the first few days, you get a lot of energy. Now, some people, if you really feel you're about to faint, I beg, eat. Eat, but you will just find that you're okay.
Can someone who is not trying to lose weight go vegan? So the person just wants to be healthier but not get slimmer.
Of course, there are many vegan people who are extremely overweight. So veganism is not really about losing weight. Yes, there are many people, because Oreo cookies are vegan. So I can sit down and decide I'm only going to be eating cookies and things like that because it's made out of flour, which is a plant. So weight loss is not necessarily, veganism is not necessarily only about weight loss.
Okay. Then can the 24 to 36 hours fast be combined with stressful work? For example, in the office, are there any adverse health effects?
What it is that one thing they didn't say in this book so much, and I talk about it when I talk about relationships. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Is that when you see stress, you have to look at it and try and make it not as stressful. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Good opportunity, I have to say, to just round this up today. It's been fantastic. We've had a great time with you today. I would like to hand over to the Laterna team so that we can share with us some of the recommended books. Apart from this book, The Daniel Plan, there are some other recommended books that Laterna is proposing we get to have a better understanding of this topic.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being a part of the program today. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to my dear sis, Auntie Lamide. Thanks so much for the exposition, not just on the book, but on the general issue of health and wellness, and then the doyen of the book reading space. Kunle, thank you again so much. And for everyone that has tuned in today, and it's so important, it really, really is so important, and we thank God for what it is that has been shared with us today. And like she said, it really, really starts in your mind, and I think you arrive there because you have chosen to arrive there, or at times it's circumstances that pushed you there. I remember after my last health check, I was advised to see the dietitian and, gave me advice as to what it was. And like someone asked the question, so what can I eat now? If I can't eat this, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do that. I said, look, instead of butter, put avocado without salt on your bread, on brown bread. You can't do this, you can't do that. And, initially when I went back after the first 30 days, was, what have you done? I said, this is what you asked me to do. And she was quite impressed, but I'm not sure I've been able to sustain that. So I need to go back to those conversations and see what it is that I can do. But I love what the book says because it captures a number of things. It talks about faith, talks about food, talks about fitness, talks about, focus, and talks about friends, people that are aligned with you. So at times on this journey, it is good to, have people in the household all understand what it is that you're trying to do. So, I remember the first time I had the conversation with the dietitian, I was saying, no, I can't do this, I can't eat this. I said, look, I'm not in charge of the kitchen. I think I need to bring my wife to be part of this conversation. So it's the right thing that's coming out of there. But, we've all gotten around to what it is that we're doing. But it's a very, very important journey. There's nothing like our health. There's nothing like our health. And too many times we hear people who are even exercising, and in the midst of exercising, they have a fainting fit and something really disastrous happens. So it's something we've got to be very, very mindful about. And I trust that we picked up, a few tips today, and we'll be inspired to go out there and do something great about our health. So once again, a very big thank you to everyone who has been a part of today's program. Thanks to all the folks that have participated. And we look forward to hosting you on subsequent programs.
Are you a book lover or enthusiast? Do you need genuine and unique lifestyle products? Or are you looking for a place where you can find contemporary and a wide range of unique gifts for children and adults? Laterna is your go-to place for genuine and contemporary books and lifestyle products for wholesale and retail customers. We stock business books on management, leadership, financial success, entrepreneurship, personal development, and so much more. We carry children's fiction, non-fiction, educational books, CDs, and DVDs. We also stock Christian books on various themes, such as family life and parenting, church life and growth, spirit-filled living, love, sex, and marriage, to mention but a few. Laterna carries life and style books such as baby and child care, beauty and style, conception and pregnancy, crafts, and hobbies. We also carry adult, children, and teenagers' Bibles, educational toys, framed art, gifts, greeting cards, home and office fragrances, music CDs and DVDs, stationery, teachings, and lots more. Our stores are located at 12B and 13 Okoawo Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. You can also shop online at www.laternabooks.com. Laterna, your lifestyle hub for book lovers. For inquiries, call 0803 301 4462, 0906 0002 or 7. Chat with us via WhatsApp on 0803 301 4462. You may also reach us on social media via Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Laterna Books and Laterna Ventures.